Welcome to my video on the TI-84 plus CE calculator. And I'm going to do some trigonometry basics. So this is the calculator. And before I get started on that, I want to go over some basics of the trigonometric functions themselves. So if we draw a right triangle, and we label this the angle theta, there's our right triangle. The long side opposite the right angle is called the hypotenuse. And then the side opposite the angle theta of interest, we call that the opposite, and the one closest to it is called the adjacent. So from that we get the definitions of the sine of the angle theta is just the ratio of the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So this one divided by this one, it's just the ratio. And the cosine of theta is going to be the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. And then the tan of theta is the opposite over the adjacent. So that's the ratio. Those are our three basic trigonometric functions. There are others. We're just going to look at those three in this episode. First of all, let's turn on our calculator. I want to clear it. Now, before we get started on trigonometry, you know we have radians and degrees in trigonometry. We want to keep this indicator right there. It says radians. We're going to turn that to degrees. So to do that, we get in our mode function. We arrow down to radians, go over to degrees, highlight the degrees, that's flashing, hit enter. Now we get out of the mode function. So now we're in the degrees mode. So we're going to do our examples here in the degrees mode. So let's make a little table what we're going to do. Here's our angle, theta, and there's the sine of theta, cosine of theta, and then the tangent of theta. So let's pick some common angles, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and then 60 degrees. We'll calculate those values using our calculator. Okay, so first let's do the sine of 30. Sine 30, close our parentheses, enter, 0.5. Now let's do the cosine of 30. Let's clear it. Hit the cosine button, 30. Close the parentheses, enter, 0.866 on and on, and then clear. Now let's do the tangent. So hit the tangent function, 30, close the parentheses, enter, and we're going to get 0.577 on and on. So those are our sines of 30 degrees and cosine and then tangent. Now let's do 45 degrees. Clear it. We're going to do the sine of 45. Enter. 0.707. This just means that it's a continued number. They're going to be rational numbers. They go on forever. And let's see. So let's do 45. We want to do the cosine of 45. Close the parentheses, enter, and we get the same number, 0.707. And then let's do the tangent of theta. Clear. Tangent of 45, enter. That's equal to 1. Now let's go 60 degrees. Clear. Let's do the sine of 60. Enter. 0.866. And now let's go to the cosine of 60 degrees. Enter. That's equal to 0.5. And clear again. We got one left to do. We want to do the tangent of 60 degrees. So hit the tangent, 60. That's 1.732. So we did just some basic trigonometric functions there and evaluated them. So let's see. Let's just do one other thing here. Let's do the sine, and let's do 15 plus 30. That's equal to 45. Hit enter so you can put algebraic functions inside the parentheses, and that's 0.707, just like it was earlier. So you can do that. Now, one of the common mistakes you could make, let's do this again. Let's take the sine of 45, and now let's put it back into radians and see what happens. Okay, there's the radians. Hit enter. Second mode, get out of that. Now, let's take the sine, and that was 45, so we know it's 45. Enter, and we get a much different number. This is in radians mode, and this was done in the degree mode. So you've got to make sure you're in the proper mode. That's a common mistake people make, being in the wrong mode. And so that's one thing you definitely want to avoid. Well, I hope you learned a little bit about using your TI-84 plus CE calculator, some basics on trigonometry, and I want to thank you for watching.